Part 5. The Final Destruction. For 9 years, Zedekiah ruled as Babylon's vassal and Jerusalem had peace. But like Jehoiakim before him, Zedekiah chafed under foreign rule. Encouraged by Egypt, Zedekiah rebelled against Babylon despite the repeated warnings of Jeremiah. The prophet was not a military advisor, but he could see judgment on the horizon. Jeremiah's warnings became more desperate. Thus says the Lord, "Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire, and you shall not escape from his hand." The prophet continued to plead with Zedekiah to submit, promising that if the king surrendered, his life would be spared and the city would not be destroyed. But Zedekiah feared being labeled a traitor, so he put his faith in Egypt and ignored the prophet's counsel. It was a decision that would cost him everything. Egypt never came, but Babylon did. In 588 BC, Nebuchadnezzar's armies surrounded Jerusalem one final time, and on this occasion there would be no mercy. The siege lasted 18 brutal months. Food supplies dwindled, famine gripped the city. The suffering was unimaginable, exactly as Jeremiah had warned. When the Babylonians finally breached the walls, King Zedekiah and his remaining soldiers attempted to flee under cover of darkness, but they were captured near Jericho. Jeremiah had warned him. Egypt had abandoned him. And now, standing before the king of Babylon in chains, there was no one left to intercede for Zedekiah. The king was forced to watch as his sons were executed, his legacy, his lineage, his future extinguished before his eyes. Then came the final act of calculated cruelty. In a final act of deliberate brutality, Zedekiah's eyes were put out, blinding him for the rest of his life. The last image burned into his memory would be the deaths of his own children. Bound in bronze chains, he was led away to Babylon, a broken king who would never rule again, never see again, and never return home. He would die in a Babylonian prison, forgotten by the empire that destroyed him. And in this moment, 2 prophecies, which had seemed to contradict each other, were simultaneously fulfilled. Jeremiah had warned that Zedekiah would be taken to Babylon and die there, but Ezekiel had prophesied that Zedekiah would never see Babylon. For those watching, this must have seemed impossible. How could both be true? Yet both were correct. Zedekiah stood before Nebuchadnezzar at Riblah in Babylon, but he arrived blind, never once laying eyes on the city that would become his tomb. 2 prophets, 2 words from God, one devastating, precise fulfillment. With the king in chains and the city destroyed, the destruction of Jerusalem was now complete. The walls had been torn down. The temple, the dwelling place of God on earth, the beating heart of Israel's identity, had been stripped of its sacred vessels, its treasures carried off to Babylon. The people of the holy city were scattered, some killed, some fled. Thousands marched into exile in chains to Babylon. God had used Nebuchadnezzar to bring out about the curse written in Deuteronomy 28.
If you do not obey the Lord your God, and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I am giving you today, all these curses will come on you and overtake you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from the ends of the earth, like an eagle swooping down, a nation whose language you will not understand. They will lay siege to all the cities throughout your land, until the high fortified walls in which you trust fall down. They will besiege all the cities throughout the land the Lord your God is giving you.
700 years had passed since Moses penned those words in the wilderness. Standing in the ruins of Jerusalem, they no longer read like prophecy. They were now an epitaph. But even here, in the ashes of the holy city, God was not finished. He never is. For the same God who decreed the judgment had also promised the restoration, and God always restores what he chastens. End of part 5.
Empires rise, prophets speak. One king remains, written in fire. Available now on Amazon.